Rachel brings the heat. Wake up CEO, we're on repeat. Chicago, Sun Up City on the go. Rachel L. Gary on the radio. Tune in quick, hear the power flow. Wake up CEO, it's your daily show. Wake up, start the day with CEO. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. From the Windy City, bringing major vibes. Rachel on the mic, keeping lives revived. Radio Chicago, where dreams arise. Wake up CEO to the skies. No more snooze button, no more delay. Rachel's voice making waves today. Feel the energy Chicago way. Wake up CEO, rise and sway. Wake up, start the day with zeal. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. Wake up, start the day with zeal. Hey, Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill.
This is Nina Powell of Nina Waters Ministries, and when you're looking for inspiration, check out Wake Up CEO with Rachel L. Gary, Wednesdays from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
You know what time it is? Every Wednesday, 3 to 5, my Radio Chicago, Rachel L. Gary in the building. Wake up, CEO, let's go! Wake up, go Sam, set that tone. Wake up, every step you take, you claim that throne. Wake up, no more doubt, no time to stall. Wake up, boss up now, go get it on. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in. Wake up. I ain't waiting, now I go and take it. Built this from the ground, no way they break it. Consistency, my secret, watch me make it. Got that boss talk, now I ain't faking no. Look, set the goal, now I'm grabbing the goal. And put in the work, now I'm taking control. The vision so clear, yeah, I already know. Every step I take, I'm ready to blow. Wake up, set that tone. Every step you take, you claim that throne. No more doubt, no time to stall. You boss up now, go get it all. Let's go, stay locked in, make it happen. Make it happen. Let's go, stay locked in, make it happen. Make it happen. No handouts, yeah, I made my way. Built my brand, now I paid my lane. Turn my losses into lessons. Now my grind got no recession. Yeah, they talk about chance, but I make my own. Yeah, I ain't waiting for fate, got a future to own. Yeah, every setback, just part of the game, gay game. But now I'm up and they know my name. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in. Wake up. Success so sexy, put the work in flexi. Late nights, no rest, but now my vision's hefty. They doubted, they laughed, now they watch from the back. Cause I turned every dream into bricks that stack. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, go get it all. Every Wednesday, 3 to 5, my Radio Chicago. Rachel L. Gary taking you to the top. Rachel L. Gary taking you to the top.
Early morning, time to rise, no sleep. Radio's humming with the funky beat. Sun is shining, Rachel brings the heat. Wake up, CEO, we're on repeat. Chicago, Sun Up City on the go. Rachel L. Gary on the radio. Tune in quick, hear the power flow. Wake up, CEO, it's your daily show. Wake up, start the day with CEO. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. From the Windy City, bringing major vibes. Rachel on the mic, keeping lives revived. Radio Chicago, where dreams arise. Wake up, CEO, to the skies. No more snooze button, no more delay. Rachel's voice making waves today. Feel the energy Chicago way. Wake up, CEO, rise and sway. Wake up, start the day with zeal. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. Wake up, start the day with zeal. Hey, Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill.
This is Nina Powell of Nina Waters Ministries. And when you're looking for inspiration, check out Wake Up CEO with Rachel L. Gary. Wednesdays from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Hey there, Wake Up CEOs. Welcome to Wake Up CEO. I am your host, Rachel L. Gary, and this is your 2-hour power-packed wake-up call to step into your full potential. You guys know my mission. It is simple: to speak candid truth to empower your inner CEO. That's the one that is clear in your actions, empowered by your choices, and owns your direction. That's CEO of your life. So, you know what we do here. We dive right in. And today's topic is how to get to the truth. Hey guys, we're gonna dig into that today. So you guys see the question of the day if you guys are online. So the question of the day is, what fictional or non-fictional character does your personality align with? So if you guys are watching me live either on YouTube or Facebook, I want you guys to go ahead, take an opportunity to like the content, share on your page or other people's pages as well, on your main page, your friends' page, your group's page. You want to make sure that we get out there and we help other people find that inspiration in their lives. And I want you guys to stay tuned for today's power statement of the day. We're also going to be raffling off Forged in Fire, From Ashes to Empowerment. And if you want to know how you become part of the raffle, this is what you need to do. I have a free 7-day challenge that is about being consistent, being committed to what? A CEO's success. So you sign up for that free, one more time, free 7-day challenge to help build up your confidence to be the CEO of your life. And every week I will be raffling off Forged in Fire and other prizes. So you have to be watching on Facebook, where I will be dropping those details. And you always can go to www.sayiampossible.com to find out any information about any raffles or prizes or giveaways that are being had by Say I'm Possible. And my book happens to be part of the Say I'm Possible Academy. Also, we have coming up the Author's Corner, brought to you by Distinguished Authors Guild, where your literary excellence is rewarded. And today, we also have a special guest, Paula Carl, the CEO of SD Beauty Emporium, and so much more. So you want to stay tuned so you can get that information about the different businesses and the different ways in which she helps people in the community. Lastly, we got that, we got that leadership 3-point play. And that is brought to you by Say I Am Possible Academy, where self-leadership gets what? GPS. So let's dive on in to that power statement of the day. Your truth doesn't need approval to be real. So let's dive into how to get to the truth. That's what we got today. And I'm going to be honest, I had something different on the agenda that I was going to start my show with. However, my colleague Shy Blizz on Morning Jump Off had a topic that really piqued my curiosity and played well into what I plan to discuss today anyway. But I want to make sure that when we're having these conversations that we can use real life scenarios to find our purpose and find the best version of ourselves from other people's lessons. Because remember, guys, at the end of the day, we're either winning or learning. So today we're going to take a lesson from some other individuals and their situation. So I'll just say the situation because I'm going to be honest. I wasn't really concerned about the particular name drop that was involved. I was more concerned or more intrigued by what had taken place. And if someone knows the name of the actual characters that were in this story, please go ahead and go to Rachel L. Gary on Facebook and you'll see me live. I got on a nice I'm Possible shirt. It is gold and purple. We celebrate, got to celebrate royalty at all times. So that's what I have on. And if you jump on that live and drop in the chat who those characters are, then everyone will know more about the story. But I'm just going to tell the brief synopsis and just dive into what my thoughts are as a coach and a leadership coach. And I help people find clarity in their lives that allow them to find mad success on their journey on this thing we got called life. So this, as I said, it intrigued me because of what they were talking about. So here's the story. So the story was that there was a young man who had a situationship with a young lady. The young lady ended up getting pregnant. The gentleman at that point asked the young lady to have an abortion with the baby, of the baby, and paid her a substantial amount of money, which the amount of money isn't the main thing, but we want to, Alexa, I want to make sure I give facts. So there was $100,000 that was given for her to have an abortion, and he stepped away from the situation. Needless to say, if we're hearing about it right now, that means something took place that changed a plan. So the plan was changed as such. The young lady comes back 9 months later. Now she has an infant that she is suing for. She wanted child support for. So the young man gave all 18 years of child support to the young lady in one lump sum. And the only reason I'm giving all of these facts is because I want to make sure that we're going to dive into this on a couple of levels. And then I'm going to remind us of how these situations are very similar to our everyday life and decisions that we make that put us in these kinds of situations. Not a $1.8 million mistake. I hope not. But even though a lot of us will say our children are not mistakes, we planned them. There's a lot of people who were not intending to get pregnant or were not intending to have a baby who have one today. And we might be a product of those decisions. So I'm going to have a conversation about that story, but as I said, relating to our everyday life. So those were the particulars. Those were all the particulars. Young man who's very wealthy, NBA star. As I said, I don't know the couple's name or the actual, as I said, the character. So if you guys are listening, please go to Rachel L. Gary and drop in the chat the name of those individuals so that other people can look up that story. And it's not because, and for me, as you guys know, I am very selective about the media that I take in, but I'm always supporting my fellow hosts here at My Radio Chicago, because it is more than radio. It's a family. So you support family on their endeavors, because I'm not a judgmental individual. I support endeavors that everyone is on, that is when they're looking for success in their lives and however in which they're moving along that success. So as I said, I was supporting, listening to the topic, and it really intrigued me. So let's break this down. First part of the show is always about clarity. So how does this situation with the young man and the young lady play into your everyday life? Let's dissect that a little bit. So we talk normally about situationships and having that clear thought process of whether you just want a situation or are you looking for love. And in this particular case, they were two consenting adults who made a consenting decision that they were not going to be a couple. They were just going to have fun. There's nothing wrong with that, because they were two consenting adults who made two separate decisions to combine their time together to have fun. And that fun, as I said, I don't know the backstory of what happened with the protection, whether the gentleman had on protection or whether the young lady was on some type of birth control. I don't know those particulars. I didn't dig into the story, because the story itself isn't the real reason why I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up because these are things that happen in our everyday life. We make decisions that have grand impacts on our future life. And when we're making these decisions, they're decisions that we're making about today. Is what we have going on today in our lives that are going to affect the outcomes of tomorrow, the day after, the week after, the months after. And for this young man, for the rest of his life. Because as a parent of adult children, I'm going to tell you, and I know the parents out there, if you have kids that are under 18, they're still going to ask you for things when they get older. They're still going to need your help, your support. They're going to need your guidance, because just like for us, when we were 18, we didn't have it all figured out. 20, we didn't have it all figured out. 40, so we still don't have it all figured out. Life is an evolution where we're constantly thinking, learning, growing, developing, and being the best version of ourselves. So why is this show about getting to the truth? Because it's about getting to the true beauty and love inside of you. And this situation that took place with the young man and young lady changed the trajectory of both of their lives for one moment of fun. So remember, if you guys are on Wake Up CEO, when I take that pause, it's that pause so we can take a moment to think. What in our lives right now is something that we would not want to affect our future? So what are we doing today that we're like, if this backfires and doesn't go as planned, I do not want that to affect my future. So, and if it's something that you are looking to do that is going to grow you, sometimes we have to move forward afraid. Fear is not going to stop us. Fear is fuel. Fear fuels us to move to the next level. Fuels us to have more, do more, be more, and be the CEOs of our lives that we know that we can be. So I'm just trying to find out. And I want you guys to think, the ones who listen to me on the air. And if you guys are looking at me live and you might need to skip out on the live, you could always go to 365 and put in My Radio Chicago and find us and take us on the go. or you can go to supportdistrictradio.com and go also download, also take us on the go so you can listen to us in the car or as you're walking around. However, as I'm saying, those are the ways to keep us in motion so you can keep getting inspiration, keep up with the conversation. So when you're thinking, and within the show, there's always a tip on how to successfully go through a situationship or successfully find your way to where you're looking to grow, develop, and be the best CEO of your life. So as we were going through here, I want us to think about, what do we see when we look in the mirror? Because I see the perfect version of you. I see the perfect version of myself when I look in the mirror. But what do you see? And more importantly, who told you to see it that way? So that goes into like this situationship that we're talking about right now. So we're talking about the situationship that could possibly, or has at this point, totally derailed someone's life. But when you're doing things in your life, you want to make sure that you are aligned with the person that you look in the mirror and that version of you that you want to bring out of the mirror into your everyday endeavors. So we want to pull that best version of ourselves from that mirror. So if you feel when you're looking in the mirror that you are broken, or you feel that you're not good enough, or if you feel as if you don't have enough, you are the perfect version of you to prepare for the perfect life that you're looking for. Let's take that back a sec. You today are the perfect version of yourself that looks in that mirror today. I know it to be true, guys. This is not something I believe. This is something I know to be true. Because when we're looking in the mirror, we're seeing the flaws of today. We're seeing the flaws of the things that we're seeing the flaws of the things that are going on in our lives. We're seeing that we don't have all of the things that we want or all of the things that we believe we deserve. But to get those things you want, to have those things you deserve, all you need is who you are right now and lessons and guidance and more knowledge about the place in which you're trying to go. So that means that it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, you can make it happen. That's what the song saying in the beginning. You can make it happen no matter where you are, what circumstances you're in. There is always a brighter day, a brighter moment. And there's always the version of you who we're gonna pull out and bring to the next level. And the next level all starts off with just learning more, seeing more. Because guess what? We're only one of 8 million people in the world. So there are things that are out there that are negative. We can buy into those negative stereotypes. We can buy into those negative things if we want. Or we can have the opportunity to learn from those situations because they're not negative. They're just things that we need to learn about, learn from. There are people all around the world who have different circumstances, who are going through life differently, who are learning from each other differently. And I'm going to tell you, I would rather learn from someone who's already made the mistake that I'm making so I can sidestep that same mistake. We're still going to make mistakes along the way. This is not an error-free zone. But it just means at the end of the day that we have the opportunity to learn from somebody else so we can be able to find that moment. We can be able to find those things, we can be able to go through life and learn more about ourselves. And that's what I'm talking about. When you're looking in that mirror, you're going to learn more about yourself. So the world may see you in one way. The world might see that you are a different person, but it doesn't matter how the world sees it. It's how you see you. We know that in the world, there's a stigmatism about Black people. That's something that's in the world. There's a stigmatism about young Black males, young Black females. There's something. Okay. So yeah, there's something that's always going on. Something that's always out there. But how you think of you should not be derived from their paradigm on what they think about you. If someone said all Black people are lazy, I would raise my hand and say, you a lie. There's nothing lazy about me. And I'm not saying that because I'm just stating that I'm not lazy. I mean that people are not lazy. There's some people that are lazy. We're not going to sit around here and say that people are not lazy, but they don't have colors. It's not a Black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a Mexican thing, a Puerto Rican thing. It's not a thing. People are lazy. There are some lazy people out there. But the second that you take someone else's thought process and start making it the way you think about you, that is what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking to that CEO who is allowing other people's thoughts about them to dictate how they dress, how they show up for themselves on an everyday basis, and what they're pulling out of themselves to grow. It's all about growth because we're growing. So there's a lot of limiting beliefs that are put on us. Hello there, CEO. So I'm sorry, we got someone in. We got a wife in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Like, comment, and share. Share. At the end of the day, the only way we show up for ourselves is learning about the limiting beliefs that we were given. And as I said, I'm going to talk to like information that we were taught as a kid. So I talk about this all the time, about money being the root of all evil. I've heard that saying so many times. I hear that the money's the root of all evil. If you have wealth, you are a crook. The rich people are the ones who push the poor people down. Now, why does that limiting belief matter? It subconsciously is linked to our brains that every time that we see someone who is wealthy, that they had to do something wrong to get the money, which means subconsciously we're not looking for wealth. Let's think about that for a minute. If we believe that people who have money are crooks, are bad people, and don't mean anyone any good, are you going to be looking to be a bad person? Are you going to be looking to be a person who will put someone else down? No. So that's a limiting belief that we don't even know that we hold on to. We're wearing that belief every day. So it goes to buying properties. If you guys have been watching Wake Up CEO or have watched anything on any social media platform that I'm on, you guys know that I own property. I buy property in areas, I fix that property up, and I rent those properties out at a lower rental value in the neighborhood to make sure that people in that neighborhood are able to stay in their neighborhoods. With that being said, if you have the belief that your landlord is a crook, that your landlord is charging you all this money, are you going to be a landlord? Think about it. Think about it. And if you're watching this live, drop that in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking. Because these are limiting beliefs. These are things that have been put on us or have been taught to us, and not for the purpose to stifle us. Just because if you notice, do you catch yourself saying something your parents told you? When you tell your kids, or you tell your friends, or you're having a conversation, you'll repeat something that you were taught when you were younger. You know why you repeat those things? Because those are things you believe. You believe those things. We will say, I don't believe that. So, do you believe that money is the root of all evil? Yes or no? Ask yourself, do you believe it or not? And let's say it this way. There are some good people, and there are some people who need a little more help to get back to who they truly are, who have money. But there are also people who are not wealthy, who have the same attributes. To me, this is something I heard my coach say. And my coach said that by me being a good steward with money, being a good steward in life, money has the safest place to be with me. One more time. So that means that I have a good heart. I am always looking to help another individual towards success. I help my community by doing things within the community. I buy things. I help people. My spouse and I, we put dinners together for the homeless. That costs money. How many more people can I feed with more money? So I go from feeding 10 people to 100 people. The more money I have, I go from feeding 100 people to 1,000 people. The more money I have, I go from feeding 1,000 people to 10,000 people, and so on and so forth. So for me, in my mind, the more money I have, the more people I can help. That's a paradigm shift. That is switching a limiting belief that has been told to me since I was a kid. You've heard it. I've heard it. The root of all evil. The money is the root of all evil. Even though it's a misquote, I'm not going to get deep into it. The love of money is the root of all evil, is the quote. But when you were told the quote, you were told the quote in a way that made you fearful of money. Now that limits what you'll do. I know it doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound real. But we subconsciously we think more than we speak. Our subconscious runs more of our lives than our conscious decisions. So when you unconsciously think something, it comes to you that way. You'll think about it before you're thinking about it, before you even make an action. So I feed myself money. I feed myself different thoughts. I spent, as a kid, you spent 18 years. I spent 18 years with listening to family members, teachers, counselors, principals, clergymen, preachers, pastors, deacons. I listened to a lot of people feed some good information. Not saying the information was all bad, but I had to do a lot of reprogramming myself so I could get rid of the limiting belief. Limiting means something that's holding me down. So that's why we have to get rid of those limiting thoughts, those thoughts of lack. Being wealthy, if you are a good person, is a great place for money to be. I want to repeat that again. you having money is a great place for money to be. Because as a good person, you're going to be a good steward of your money. And it's not about giving tithes. This is not that kind of conversation. I'm not talking about giving back to the churches. I'm talking about I'm not saying that giving to a church is wrong. I don't have a here nor there statement about that. Because if you're giving from a place of love, one more time, if you're giving from a place of love, it's all right. If you're giving to a place from obligation or from a place of you're just giving blindly but have no idea why you're doing it, that's a difference. I make decisions based upon how much love I have in my heart for a situation, a subject, a matter, a thing. So my spouse and I passing out food to the homeless is from my heart. I don't do it because I feel obligated. I do it because my heart is filled with joy, is filled with abundance. And with that abundance, I am able to help other individuals. So I'm always pouring that abundance into me. So the more money that comes my way, it allows me to help more people. It allows me to buy more properties in the areas in which that I hear complaints. So we complain about the situations in our communities where there's gentrification going on, but we spend our money outside our communities to look good. I like to feel good. Oh, I like to dress. Let there be no mistake. But my first thing is to feel good. I want to feel good about the person that I am. I want to feel good about the actions in which I take. I want to do things from the overflow of me, for the love of me. What we know about that? So it's about you loving you when you look in that mirror. When you're in that mirror, love who's looking back. If you're not in the place where you're able to give back in a meaningful way, but you want to, what do you need to do next? We got to get some more finances in our pockets so we can be able to give to other people. If I have $1 and my bills are $2, I'm at a -1. So how am I able to help another individual if I'm at a -1 already? That's when you're looking in the mirror and you're making that decision that, okay, I am looking to grow and develop myself so I can grow and develop in my community. How do you help the people? How do you help a situation? Be part of the solution. So when we look in the mirror, so how do we get to the truth? That's what the show is about. We get to the truth by looking in that mirror and identifying who that person is looking in the mirror and how to find the beauty and love within that person to take that person towards who they truly are. So it goes to why the show is called Wake Up CEO, about being clear in your actions, being empowered by your choices, and owning your direction. When you're clear about the way you're going, you can move. When you're empowered by having information that allows you to move forward consciously, you're able to move successfully. And when you're owning your moves, you're strategically making those moves so you can find success. If we fail, failure is usually a byproduct of trying and doing something new. And being afraid, I've had fear. And I got to tell you guys, the most fearful thing I did is what I'm doing right now. Talking to you great people on the radio. That was a fear point for me because I didn't want to stutter and sound unintelligent. I didn't want to come out here and say things and forget what I wanted to talk about. But on the same token, I had something to say. I had some information to bring. I had some knowledge to share. And I had a perspective on a thing called life to pull and remind all of the CEOs out there of who you are. We are all children of God. And it doesn't matter what religion and what name you give the Most High. We are all a byproduct of that. So if we are all a byproduct of that, none of us were put here to struggle. The struggle is all in our minds. We have the ability to make a shift any day, any minute. Let's just speak to how I know that to be true. What is one of the poorest countries in the world? If you guys are listening to me live, drop that in the chat if you have a place. Because there are many of impoverished areas in the world, not just in our Chicago area. If we just want to stick locally, let's stick locally. Locally, it used to be one of the areas that were the most impoverished were what people used to call the low end. That used to be what people would call, or any of the project areas was supposedly the areas that had the most impoverished people. Now, I want to know if you guys can remember, or if you guys have heard about how many millionaires came out of all those projects. And I don't mean street hustling millionaires. There's some doctors, there's some physicists, there's some electrical engineers that came from there. So what was the difference between those people and us? Someone dropped it in the chat. Harvey is one of those areas in the Chicago suburbs that people talk about constantly, where there's no jobs, no life, no hope. You go from corner to corner, area to area, and there's abandoned properties everywhere. But I believe if we look up Harvey and look up someone who's had success, there are people in Harvey who have had success. There's nothing different between them and you, except a decision that they made. One more time, a decision. It sounds simple. Guys, I was telling, me and my VA were talking earlier. I told him there's a lot of simple things that are not easy. I told him my plan, Rachel L. Gary's plan, 2025, 2026, and 2027. There's nothing easy about what I plan to do for that time. My intention is to touch 100,000 people by the end of 2026 and remind them of who they are and help them with empowerment to get to where they want to be. Not to where I want them to be, where they want to be in their CEO lives. So if I'm looking to give guidance, help, and instruction, I had to get out of my own way. I couldn't be fearful to deliver a message that I am qualified. 25 years in leadership. I've been in leadership 25 years. I have trained thousands of people to grow within organizations. Let me explain. I want to just take a step back to give a little bit about myself. I made a decision in 2004 that I was not going to live in poverty anymore. And it wasn't poverty as in where I was living. It was the mindset of poverty that plagued me every day, that put me in situations where I did not have an opportunity to resources. I was looking, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to be a gut shot. I was looking for government resources to help me find success in my life. In 2004, I said I won't take one more government resource. And I'm going to tell you, I looked in the mirror and said, after being on the cold porch in January, guys, I want to make sure I said it. Y'all, if we in Chicago, and in Chicago, it's freezing in January. Not lately, but in 2004, it was still 20, 30 below in January. When I was sitting on that porch having that discussion with myself, this is what I said at the end of the day. I want out of poverty. Mindset shift. Got to make one. Have to figure out what I'm going to do next and how I'm going to get out of the situation. But today is the last day I'm living in poverty. And as I said, it was a poverty mindset, not as in my situation was poverty. Because to me, there isn't poverty situations. There are thought processes that keep us in poverty. Some people are not going to agree. Some people say that without the resources from the government and without information that they're gatekeeping, I can't move forward. That has it where I'm stuck into thinking that has us stuck in thinking of what other people are going to do and help us get picked up. It doesn't matter what race you are, what sex you are. You are the first person to save you. You are. Because you make the decision if you're going to wait for the government's assistance or if you're going to start a path of your own. Now, I'm not saying the government's assistance or the government's money they're holding or the government information that they're gatekeeping, I'm not saying that's not true. What I'm saying is that I'm not going to be sitting around here waiting for their assistance. So we got a comment in here. 1 year is what it took for me to recognize the C, clarity. This year going to conquer it. And by 2026, I will be on to empowerment. And before you guys will even start noticing, I would have already been sitting on a throne of owning my direction. Can't thank you enough, Rachel L. Gary. Thank you very much. This is one of my mentees as well as now my VA. And at the end of the day, him and I have many conversations. We've had group conversations as well as one-on-ones about moving forward. It's not an overnight sensation. And I appreciate you for taking, first off, even though you're clear right now, you're already taking ownership and you are empowered. Every single time you make the decision that I am going to continue moving forward, you are empowering yourself to move forward every time. Just keep up the great work, Bruce. But that is what it's about at the end of the day. You making a decision and we moving forward. So back to the beginning of what I was talking about, the whole point of the conversation is for when you're looking in the mirror, who do you see? And are you looking in the mirror, looking at the outer version of yourself as opposed to the inner version of you that is needed for the success of the outer life in which you want to live? So we're going to jump into some music here. And first up, we got One of a Kind by Chris and T. And as I have said before, if you guys have any clean music out there about inspiration and motivational, that does not mean just church music, guys. And if you guys have listened to Wake Up CEO, you notice that I'm not listening to church music. Not saying there's anything wrong with gospel. It is nothing wrong with it at all. But I'm looking for that hip hop, that R&B, that trap music that has a positive message. If you have some clean music that you want to get out here, you can go to Wake Up CEO Radio at gmail.com and drop that clean versions of your music in there. Clean versions only, because this is about positively upliftment. So let's get to that One of a Kind by Chris and T.
Do you mind?
Like shine cause I'm one of a kind. I never like shine cause I'm one of a kind. Like shine cause I'm one of a kind. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. No matter what lights. Let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna head high to the sky cause I know what I'm at.
One of a kind, one of a kind, one of a kind.
One of a kind.
One of a kind, one of a kind, one of a kind.
One of a kind.
One of a kind, one of a kind, one of a kind. I am spirit, I am divine, I am so special, I'm one of a kind. I am spirit, I am divine, I am so special, I'm one of a kind.
Shine bright like the sun, I'm on fuego. The world in my hands just like Play-Doh. The manifesting greatness since I changed my lingo. Check out my halo. I'ma let it shine. I'ma let it shine. I with lights. It's not a fight. I'ma let it shine. I'ma head high to the sky. Cause I know that we wanna know.
One of a kind, 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 one of a kind. Yeah.
Light shine cause I'm one of a kind. I let my light shine cause I'm one of a kind.
Cause I know that we
One of a kind, 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 one of a kind. Yeah. Look, I am spirit, I am divine, I am so special, I'm one of a kind. I am spirit, I am divine, I am so special, I'm one of a kind.
Shine bright like the sun, I'm on fuego. The world in my head just like Play-Doh. The manifesting greatness since I changed my lingo. Check out my halo. I'ma let it shine. I'ma let it shine. With lights. I'ma let it shine. I'ma head high to the sky. Cause I know
One of a kind, 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 one of a kind. Yeah.
I am so special. I'm one of a kind. I am spirit. I'm divine. I am so special. I'm one of a kind.
If I don't like you, yeah, you gon' feel it. You better watch how you come, cause I'm still healing. People love to play the victim when you hurt their feelings. You've been playing in my face and now I'm feeling okay. I see what we doing now. You don't wanna clear the air, so I'm about to spray it out. Backtracking on your words, don't be scared now. Find to match your energy, don't explain now. Boy, I've been pressured. Been asking God to forgive me. They think cause I'm sweet that this mud won't get sticky. They love the gas fight like the tank is on empty. You don't want no smoking, believe I got plenty. I hate your energy, so I'ma pack it up. Somebody get this girl in house cause she acting up. I know they hurt you in your past, so you acting tough. But I don't like your energy, so you can go ahead and back it up. I swear I'm trying to elevate. The old me will roast you and serve you on plates. Sizzle and fry you like well done filet. Chef RD you, but I walk away cause I'm better than that and you ain't bringing me back. Some peeping all that baggage that you gotta unpack, you know? I don't like none of y'all, no way. Back to the store, had to get an upgrade. I don't waste time if it ain't gon' pay. Y'all better get out my face, get out the way. Back it up. Get out the way. Get up. I don't like none of y'all, no way. Back to the store, had to get an upgrade. I don't waste time if it ain't gon' pay. Y'all better get out my face, get out the way. Back it up. Get out the way. Back it up. Yo, hey, but God put you in your place like a parking space. And check the lot, tell me where you wanna park today. Insecurity is open, we can go and park there. And use your mirrors, cause you know that you ain't self-aware. I don't like people who don't like themselves. How you mess up and then blame someone else? Exactly. I don't wanna be around somebody who ain't growing. You ain't even worth all this smoke I've been blowing. I won't get my energy without a purpose. Sometimes you gotta build a bridge, sometimes you gotta burn it. Sometimes they wanna see a show, you gotta close curtains. And stop entertaining people when you know they hurting. Okay. Songs are different pedigree. I get picky and I'm choosy when it comes to the team. I don't like you cause I like my peace. I won't even get close if I feel your energy. I don't like you cause I like my peace. I won't even get close if I feel your energy. I don't like none of y'all, no way. Back to the store, had to get an upgrade. This time if it ain't gon' pay. Y'all better get out my face. Get out the way. Back it up. Get out the way. Back it up. I don't like none of y'all, no way. Back back to the store, had to get an upgrade. Don't waste time if it ain't gon' pay. Y'all better get out my face. Get out the way. Back it up. Back it out the way. Back it up. Hey.
I call my power back to me from every person, place, entity.
All right. That was Erica Mason will Get Out the Way. I want to make sure that is what I'm talking about. There is definitely positive music out there. We can find it. I am all about expression and expressing yourself in the way in which you feel it is time to express. That's what it's about at the end of the day. So if you're looking for positive music, you can always go to my Facebook group, Wake Up CEO, and my playlist that you guys are hearing on the air will be there every week on Thursday, the Thursday after the show. And pick one of those songs, change the algorithm if that's what you're looking to do, to bring that positive energy, those positive messages into your mind so you can have positive growth. So let's jump into the raffle of that free Forged in Fire from Ashes to Empowerment by the one and only Rachel L. Gary. That's me. And it's a story of resilience through adversities to understand that you have survived with messages of thriving. And this week's winner is, so we're going to press the button. Hold on. We're going to start the button and put you guys on the air. Up. Everybody, it all went away. We got to do it again. Hey, technology gets us sometime. So we're going to put all the names, got to put them all back in there. Hey guys, I can't see what I got a trombone a little bit with my glasses off. With my glasses on, because I can't see to read with my glasses. But that's okay. We're going to put all the names back in there. And this is for everybody who signed up for Wake Up CEO this week. And everyone who signed up, sorry, my apologies. Let's take that back. Everyone who signed up for the free 7-day challenge. And it's an integrity challenge based on commitment and consistency to build up your confidence in you. So we're going to put those names back in there. All right. And so the names are in there, just so you guys know there's names there. There's names. Don't want you guys knowing everyone's business. And now we're going to hit the start button. All right, we're going to confirm. And we're going to start the raffle. All right, so we count down and we're at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the name of the winner of Forged in Fire from Ashes to Empowerment, you guys are seeing it before me. So if you guys are online, you actually are seeing it. So let me see who won. Bruce. So Bruce actually won a free copy of Forged in Fire from Ashes to Empowerment. So to get your copy, if you are not in the Chicagoland area, please go to my inbox and drop your address and your information. And with this free copy of Forged in Fire, you will get other gifts. So keep going to my page. If you go to Rachel L. Gary, on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, it gives you the information of where to actually get the free challenge, the free 7-day challenge of building up your confidence. The free 7-day challenge. And please, guys, drop in there about how that works for you. So, and now we're going to dive into the Author's Corner that is sponsored by Distinguished Author Guild, where literary excellence is rewarded. And today's book is, hold on one second, guys. Lost my copy of paper. That's okay. Is Shades of Difference, Why Skin Color Matters. So we got a little mic problem, so give me 1 second. Let's see what's going on. Hello. Can you guys hear me? All right, so we'll find out what's going on with the mic in a second. But hopefully if you guys are on air, you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me out there, let me know. So currently, the book is called Shades of Difference: Why Skin Color Matters. The 3 key truths from this week's feature is perception isn't truth. One more time. Perception isn't truth. How people see your skin color shouldn't determine your access, value, or power. Shift the narrative by defining your own story. 2, systematic does not mean permanent. What people systematically think of you are not permanent thoughts of you. Because yes, it exists, as we were talking about earlier, but so does resistance, resilience, and rebuilding. Understand how color bias exists. Then learn how to move with strategy. 3rd, truth is identity, not image. What you think of yourself matters. What people outside of you think of you does not. Your identity is deeper than your complexion of your skin. So the light skin, dark skin conflicts in the black dynamic. You're light skinned and you're dark skinned and you're black. So it doesn't matter. It's a connection to culture and a calling. Embrace your full self and unlock your full potential. So that's what it's about at the end of the day. So we're going to play one more song just to get the mics back online. And then we're going to jump in to our special guest that should be arriving shortly. And from there, we're going to have a great conversation about SD Beauty. You got to learn more. Y'all stay locked in on Wake Up CEO on My Radio Chicago, a support district radio network where you guys already know it is more than radio.
From every space, portal, time, and dimension, from every connection, attachment, and vessel where I left it. Anyone and anything that is attempting to siphon my energy, you do not have my consent to use my vitality, and I call my power back. I now release that which is not my own. I lay down the weight that doesn't belong to me, as well as the weight that does. I forgive all things, all people, and all others. I forgive myself. I cloak myself in a bright light of protection, impenetrable. I shed light to my shadows and lovingly work through all insecurities, flaws, and self-destructive habits that cause me not to flow in the ways in which I was created to. I honor those parts of myself and I love them to life. Any and every soul tie is now disconnected. My mind is decluttered and I see clearly those who no longer serve me and the mindsets attached to them. I take time for self-evaluation to uncover what in me connected me to that energy, and I heal my broken places. I take up space in my own life, and I unapologetically do the same in the rooms that I walk into. My light, my energy speaks for me before I ever open my mouth. I speak those things that are not as though they were, not as if they have never been, but I activate them with my light energy into being from obscurity. My vibration reverberates and pushes away any energy that is not on the same frequency, and I align, knowing that this is all that is required of me. I receive my power back. Ashe.
It is time that I call my power back. It is time that I call my power back.
All right. We got that we got that mic back on and working. So I appreciate you guys for taking in that positive music while I was working in here being an engineer inside of the radio station. Things happen, life happens. You just have to step up sometimes and make sure at the end of the day you try to rectify a problem. That's what it's about. Hey, I'm a solution-based individual. When there's an issue, I step in and try to find a solution. That's what it's about. So while we're waiting on our guest to grace Wake Up CEO with her presence, we're going to talk a little bit about where we were leaving off about from where we were talking about with the book that I was speaking about, Shades of Difference, Why Skin Color Matters, and why I chose that book for my shelf. Let's talk a little bit about that. So I chose the book for my shelf because someone made mention to me recently about the light skin, dark skin battle. So it was, I'm not going to say it was new to me. It wasn't new to me, but it was shocking to me that I was still hearing that same conversation from some peers that we've been friends since we were, some of them we were like 10, 12, I mean, a long time. We'll say about 25 to 35 years ago. We've been friends that long. And they were having a conversation about somebody being light-skinned, and they were having just discussing that, man, my light skin is smoother than your dark skin. And they were going back and forth about it. And then I asked them a question: what does it really matter? Hey, I'm that way. I always ask those questions about what does that really matter? And if it matters, what do we need to do about that? So when they were talking to me about it, I said, so, all right. I said, I want to just understand what really matters about him being light skinned, you being dark skinned, and you being dark skinned and him being light skinned. What difference does it make? And they were like, how we're treated. And that really opened it up. That opened it up for me. And from the chat, it says, and it's a real and shameful at the same time that the issue still continues. And that's what I mean, these are really close friends of mine. And when they were having a discussion, I remember when we were having this discussion in our teens. And I want to talk a little bit to the teen conversation. We were talking about how girls liked one of my friends because he had hazel eyes. He's light-skinned with hazel eyes. And if you were a baby who was around in the late 80s, early 90s, and you were still in your teens during that time. And as I said, in my circle of people, because I can't speak for the world, I only can speak from the sphere in which I'm in, that I was taken aback by the situation a little bit. So, hey guys, we're going to have to pause this for 1 second because I think the guest is here. So we're going to finish the song out, On a Wave by Mellow Will and Peachka. And the only reason I'm pausing it because it's raining in Chicago. We don't want the disrespectful weather to mess up Miss Paula's hair. She's a beautician. She's so much more, but that's one of the things. Can't be messing her hair up out there. So hold on real tight, guys. Let me go ahead and grab her from the door. And you guys listen to On a Wave from Mellow Will and Peachka.
Hey. It's Pete. Mellow. Hey.
I'm on the way. Yeah, I got it like that. Channel messages from Spirit, got you pop it like that. I'ma pop it in the pocket. Oh my God, it's like that. They like the way I tell it, tell them run it right back. They love the way I tell it. They better give me credit. The secret sauce is peach and you could never try to sell it. I'm a baddie with a belly. I cost you pretty penny. And knowing me will change your life, but only if you're ready. I don't chase. If I want it, I attract it. First I feel it, then I have it. Manifesting is a habit. Couldn't do it on the habit. Turn into a money maggie. Y'all be getting this shit backwards. But you gotta raise your standard. If you operate in confidence, no one can take advantage. If you manage your emotions, then no one can do no damage. Don't associate with low vibrations. You don't speak the language. When you channel, get the plan and trust the handle. Come on, tell them mellow.
We don't got us. It's a problem. We don't got them. We just solve them. We just might just need an album. We don't let you see inside them. We don't like them. We just drop them. We don't like to see the bottom. If I want them, then I got them. I get paid. every single day. They came up from the basement, we ain't got it because I paid the ticket. If they want it, they can get it. I just know if they admit it, they can want it, say they did it. Millie, hold up, wait a minute. Hey, I'm the bag, let's make it clear. Showing love when facing fear, knowing love when facing mirrors. You know we could take it there. We don't play it fair. We just make aware.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm on a way. Yeah, I got it like that. Little messages from spirit, how you bopping like that? I'ma pop it in the pocket, I'ma got it like that. And they like the way I tell it, tell them run it right back, right back, right back.
All right. We're back. So I have to get the door, and we're going to have our guests have a seat in a couple of moments. And we're going to jump back into the colorism that is going on, that it goes on in a particular group of individuals. And as I was discussing that, my two friends, they were having a conversation about my light-skinned friend being somebody who girls were more attracted to because he was light-skinned with hazel eyes. And my dark-skinned friend, and as I said, I'm only speaking to this in terms of, as I said, in my sphere of influence, my sphere of conversations that I have with people. And he was saying that, yeah, girls didn't want to mess with me when I was a teenager. Now, I want to say something different. Those roles have flipped as they became adults. So the dark-skinned friend, this is the same two friends, guys. I'm going to tell you, the same two friends. And they were having the conversation differently, that now light-skinned brothers get the rap of just being players, being playboys, and dark-skinned brothers get more play because of the type of people that they are. They have more rich skin. So we were having this whole conversation, and I was just so amazed that we were still having this conversation 35 years later. And even though the dynamics of that conversation had changed, it didn't matter about the dynamics. The biggest thing that I was really speaking about was the fact of that within a segment of people that we're still discussing about one person being better than the other due to a skin tone. I want to judge people on their character of the individual in which they are. I don't care if you're light skin, dark skin, whatever skin, what does that matter? Because they're people who don't respect themselves in both avenues. And let's just get a couple things from the chat. We have that the colorism issue is discrimination within our culture that mimics some of the toxicity of slavery. Ooh, that was a deep statement. To me, that was very deep, because as much as we talk about we don't want to be enslaved, and that as a people we should have never been enslaved, and then for us to still have the conversations about things that are from that era, that is for me. And hey guys, you know, this is the show is about me being candid. It shows that we are not evolving or allowing ourselves to evolve past things that have happened in the past. The only way we have evolution is if we make changes and changes with our thought process, which goes back to what we were saying in the beginning about limiting beliefs. But we will go take an opportunity right now to welcome our guest to Wake Up CEO. So you guys, let me give her proper. We have to give her our opportunity. Oh, hold on one second. We got to make sure we get all her stuff in. So let's give her a couple of moments, and we're going to talk about this. Open the door. You just don't close all the way. Okay. So as I said, as we were having that discussion about colorism, that's the things that for me, they are underlying issues. Now, to me, it's not about just the slavery piece. It's about the person in which, at this point in time in my life, I know that slavery existed. I know that as a people, we were made to do things in a way that was against our human nature of being free to do the things that we would like to do. And that currently society there's still parts that are there that are of that same nature. As in neighborhoods are segregated by color, the redlining that took place in the Chicagoland area, I know all of those things existed. And I know that with them existing, we need to also be cognizant of how we take in those information. Are we taking in that information to utilize it as and weaponize our words against each other? Are we taking that information in to be aware of this is the things that exist in society, and uplifting our voices and uplifting our thoughts to a process that doesn't care about skin tone, but cares about the love, cares about the appreciation of us within our race. So guys, hold tight 1 second. All right, I'm back. Okay, so let's take the opportunity to welcome our guests properly to Wake Up CEO. So the CEO, we have the CEO of Sheer Design 2 Hair Restoration and Sheer Designs Beauty Emporium, a cosmetologist. I messed this word up earlier, so pronounce it for me if you don't mind. Trichologist, author, educator, wife, and mom. Wake Up CEO is honored to welcome Paula Carl to our show.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for the welcome.
Okay, so how we do here on Wake Up CEO is that at the end of the day, I want to know what is all of this long things that you do, because these are a lot of balls to be juggling. So I'm trying to figure out if you can just let us know a little information about Paula.
Yeah. So, wow, where do I begin? So I am a mother of two beautiful daughters who I wrote my children's book about. The first book I wrote is Ellie Meets the New Baby. And then I wrote the second book, which just released, called Ellie Meets a New Friend. Okay. So that's a little.
So let's turn them around so everyone can see them.
Okay. So, and I do have the first book in Spanish. So this is my first book. I have it in hard copy and soft copy and in Spanish. Okay. It's also in text to speech. And I'll tell you a little bit why I put it in text to speech. It's also in audiobook. Okay. And then my second book just released this year in January, which is called Ellie Meets a New Friend. It's about a little girl who has a physical disability, but Ellie does not see that physical disability like other people see it. So the reason why I wrote that book is because I am also the woman that wears many hats. I'm also a special education teacher. And so I write about children who have ability. I don't look at the disability. I look at the ability in children. And so the purpose of this book is to share awareness and to bring inclusion. All right. So that's me in my education world. So in my cosmetology world, in my trichology world, and hair loss and hair restoration world, I am all of those things. I help clients who are suffering from cancer, alopecia, all of those things to help them get, one, their wigs covered through their insurance. Did you know that? Wigs can be covered through their insurance, so I help them get that. I am also helping clients restore their hair naturally. So I do that on the side in my business. So my business is on the south side of Chicago, which is South Holland, Illinois. So I do, it's called Sheer Designs 2 and Hair Restoration. That's where I service. We do regular service, men, women, and children. I have numerous stylists in there, and I've been the owner there for over 10 years. Okay. I just recently opened up my Black-owned beauty supply store. And with the network of Black-owned Beauty Supply Store Association has helped me navigate in that era, so that I can help our community get our products back in our hands and help our community with beauty, cosmetic, all of those things to help them in the beauty industry. So yes, that's me in a nutshell. Wow.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you that nutshell was really big. It probably it probably burst open a little bit. But I want to just, if you don't mind, I got a couple of questions. So I want first just go back to the educator piece, and then we'll go forward to the beauty piece, because I think that both of them play. It seems that both of them are hand in hand because they all deal with helping individuals.
Yes.
So, how long have you been an educator?
I've been in education for over 10 years. I started off as a general education teacher. I decided to go back and help children with special needs, help them in the academic area and physical area to help them learn, whether it's a student that's suffering from intellectual disability to emotional disability. I help those students navigate through school system. So I've been in education for over 10 years. So
Awesome.
I work in all industry as far as elementary. I've worked in the middle school setting, and I've also worked in the high school setting. So I'm very versed in the area where I work. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, most people, and I'm gonna most likely she's gonna be one of these people as well. When you have a skill, that transfers to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So with your the hair restoration piece, how is there classes or teachings or things that you do there as well?
For the hair restoration, but I do educate our community. So I do have like support system where I have the community come and I talk about hair loss, hair restoration issues in that matter. And as a matter of fact, I do want to put on something at the store in May. May is Mother's Day month, and women usually want to get their hair done and look their best. So I do want to put on an educational piece after work hours. So hopefully I can get that done and speak that into existence to help the community.
I think she just spoke it into existence. She said in May. So I know that she's going to hold herself accountable to that. We're going to see some posters about that soon. But so from the education piece, what made you start actually being a cosmetologist? And I'm gonna mess with a trichologist.
Okay, so I was in cosmetology first. So I was doing that for now. I'm doing it now for over 25 years. So I've done that first. And so my sister, she took my tail and was like, girl, why don't you go back to school and get your education so you can retire? You have something to retire. And for us, we spend our money and we don't look to try to save it, And I was just talking about this earlier today with one of my colleagues. I said, I've been in this business for over 25 years. I wish I would have saved and put away, then I could look at retirement like right now.
Okay.
But either way it goes, we just don't look at that early on in life. And so I decided to go back to school. I started off at Chicago State. At one point, transferred to Trinity Christian College, graduated with my undergrad and from Trinity Christian College. And then I went to get my master's in special education. And now I do hold a type 75, which is a principalship, so that I don't plan on being a principal at this point or, any of that. But, if I do want to go in that area, I would like to be a director in the special education area.
Awesome. Yeah. So you first was a cosmetologist first.
Yes.
And then you veered off that path.
No, I stayed in that path, but I did it simultaneously.
Okay. So I didn't hear that part. I missed it. Maybe someone's in my ear.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
No, you're fine. So because I had the flexibility of doing hair and making my own schedule, it allowed me time to go back to school. So I went back to school, and then I've done both at the same time. I've worked in the education, then after work, then I go at night to do hair. So in the weekends doing hair. So it was cumbersome. I literally just kind of retired, semi-retired behind the chair, standing up behind the chair July.
Okay.
So now I just really help clients who have hair loss, help them through that area, and then work on my business in that area.
Okay. So it sounds like, if you don't mind me saying it this way, so it sounds as if you decided to pick one thing and do that, and we'll pick one portion of it and start working that one thing really well.
Yes, and so that word is called the niche. Find my niche.
Hey, some people don't like to be niched down, and it's funny that you say that because of myself and a couple of my colleagues, we were talking about because I do coaching and mentorship, and someone asked me the question about what was an inspirational coach, and I was breaking it down, and I said, I'm just helping people find that leadership piece, how to be leaders in their lives. Mm-hmm. And they said, okay, then that means you're a leadership coach. That's it. What do we do? What's all the other stuff about? And it is because I wanted to I was looking to on a broader audience, and it goes to something that in one group that I was in, they were saying that if you're trying to capture everybody, you end up capturing nobody.
Exactly.
So that being niche down is just it's definitely helped me find clarity in the piece of how to help the individuals I'm looking to help.
Yes.
So as I told them, so I am a leadership coach. That's if you guys see, I changed my name on there. So it no longer says just inspirational coach. It now says leadership coach. And the reason why I said needed leadership coach, because it made the most sense, because I'm helping to build leaders, a leader in their lives, having them find that clarity piece in them on how to be successful in a business. And this is gonna, and she might relate that a lot of people start a business because they want to have freedom of having their own, but really realize that you spend more time in your business than you did at a job.
Yes.
And so, and a lot of sole proprietors or entrepreneurs get into business to get rid of the grind and don't really understand the dynamics in which they need to take to be in that business and defer information to other people so they can handle the business, so they can have a lighter load.
Yeah.
And so I started helping a lot of businesses with that. That was a lot of, I'll say, CEOs of their business with creating SOPs so they can pass that stuff off to people, because it's hard to pass it off if you haven't defined what it is you need to pass off. Right. It makes it very difficult to train the next person.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I heard that where you said that you now have stepped from behind the chair. Mm-hmm. So how did you do the training for the next people who are now running the salon on an everyday basis, actually doing the actual people hair? Because I know that my wife is one of these people. She has a beautician. And if that beautician retires, I'm going to be in trouble, because I'll be all over the city looking for that beautician, looking for a new one. So most people are very, what's the word I want to use? They want the one person who's been doing their hair so long. So how did you get those clients to transition over to your team of people?
It was difficult. It was difficult, and still difficult, because I still get text messages. So I've been doing clients here for over 25 years, and it was just really difficult to let go. They understood my reason, because I do have two small children. One is 8 and one is 5. Okay. And I was missing out on them, as well as my husband. I was missing out spending time with them after school. So I had to make a decision. I was getting out of the salon sometime midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was just, I didn't want to do that anymore. I'm like, this is not what I want. I'm missing out on my children. And so to me, that was more important. And it was more important for me to make the transition now to step away from behind the chair. But luckily, I have stylists. I have 7 in there who is independent contractors. So they've been in the business for over 25, 30 years. So they are experienced. So it was a really easy transition for me to continue for them to allow their business to grow and to do that. So yeah.
Oh, see, there it is. There was that awesomeness of figuring out of those independent contractors. It was very important. It's the only way you. And as I said, I'm only speaking from experience, guys. I try not to speak from theory. I speak from things that I've done in my life. Last year and a half ago, I retired from the industry in which I was in. I've been in operations for 25 years. I've been building leaders for 25 years, and to step away from it. And I'm going to speak a little bit to that step away. I stepped away from it where I was making multiple 6 figures a year. Okay. And when you step away from that type of money and you're not going into a field that's going to make that money today, you have to make concessions and determine what you're going to do and how you're going to be on that path. And the biggest challenge was figuring out, as I said, I've been in leisure for 25 years. So I already knew that I need to map out what the process was going to look like, do it myself for a year. And then as I bring new people in, give them the SOP for that particular thing. So currently I have a VA who does a lot of my marketing materials, because that was something that was taking up a lot of my time. Hey, I want to say this. People who do Facebook posts, I want to say it again. Facebook, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got LinkedIn, you have TikTok. Then you have these new platforms that I'm going to be honest, I have zero knowledge of, because before that I was working. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have any knowledge of those platforms prior to a year and a half ago. My first Facebook, when I started being very serious about intentional about my Facebook post, was like 2 years ago. Before then, I didn't have a Facebook. I didn't have time for Facebook. But to make a transition from one world to another that was very heavily dependent upon the marketing steps type of.
And it's funny that you say that because I just created a TikTok like 2 days ago. I was not
like
in
me.
that world. Not social media is not me. I mean, I do it some for my book, yes, but to do it for my hair business, I did. They were like, you gotta do it. You gotta step away. You gotta get your face out there. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's time.
Yeah. And so what would you say would probably be the biggest challenge? I mean, as I said, I have my challenges, but it's good to hear from other people's perspective. What was your biggest challenge from being with? Because when you're working, as one more time, because I want to make sure you say this. This is not saying you guys being on social media all day is a problem. That's the life you want to live. That's great. I want to say if you're on social media, looking at other people's lives, how are you living and building yours? I do want to say that, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. If you are looking to live and build your life, I was living and building a life that I had no idea about what was going on social media. People asked me a question about some new person on social media. I had no idea. I was like, who? I don't even know that person. I had to go research the person to find out who they were talking to me about.
Right.
That's why at the beginning of my story, I was telling you about 2 individuals because I don't know their names. Because I didn't research who they were. Their story was important. It wasn't important about their names in my mind. But so what would you say your biggest challenge with social media is right now?
At social media, posting, creating content, being consistent. Those are the 3 things, is my biggest challenge. Just to get the content. I at one point I did hire a content, but it got a little expensive. So I have to cut back, scale back sometimes, you got to figure out what's important. But I am trying to get back in that realm now that I have Black-owned beauty supply store so that everybody is aware. So I'm trying to get that information out. So it is necessary to find somebody to help me in that area. So that's my biggest challenge.
So if you guys are watching it on Facebook, you'll see it on the ticker. But let's speak a little bit about where it's Sheer Design Beauty Emporium at 432 East 162nd Street in South Holland. And the website is also on there. It's sdbeautyemporium.com. So you can go there to find out more information about that particular business. As you heard, she has a second business. But so tell me a little bit about what made you go from once you had established the fact that you have stepped away from your business from behind the chair to actually opening up the Beauty Emporium. And if you could tell us a little bit more about the Beauty Emporium itself.
Yes. So a company was closing, a business was closing, and I've been in that area. I grew up in Harvey, Illinois, Harvey World. That's me. I may not sound like it, look like it, but yeah, I'm a Harvey World, not claiming. My parents still stay there. Actually, I work out there in school district out there in Harvey. So yeah, I'm a Harvey World. But needless to say that what allowed me to step in that area, that business closing, and like, we don't want to sell it to nobody but you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, maybe let me think about this. So yeah, I went into that area. I started off at the Swaparama, first in my salon, putting the stuff in my salon. It didn't work out because I didn't want that traffic inside my salon while other stylists were doing their client hair. So it was just not the right space for that. And then I decided to go to the Swaparama, which was on 127th in Alsip. So I did that for a few months. And then I decided, like, this is not what it is. So I just started praying, like, Lord, like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I know this is what I need to do, but I don't know where. And so I just decided to look around in different spaces. And in November, when I found the space where I'm in now, once I walked in, I was like, this is it. And thankfully, it allowed me to get into that space. It's to me, I think it's a perfect space right now just to start off. It's a good location. And so I'm just happy to be in that space. And so right now, March 1st, which was this past March was Women History Month. I opened up March 1st. And so that was my biggest milestone for that particular store. So what I sell it's just about everything. I sell children items, men items, kids items, sport and wave, all those things, twist, locks, if you want extra locks. I do have an exclusive beauty line which is from the Black Owned Beauty Supply Store Association. It's called You Go Girl, which they have extension, pre-stretch hair for braiding hair. We also have extension for locks, crochet hair. And then the other line that I do carry from the Black Owned Beauty Supply Association is called Rose Collection. So they have a lot of different textures and colors and all those things. And then I do want to add that I do have some items for hair loss. So I do have an exclusive item for hair loss.
Someone just asked the question, do you have products for hair fall reduction?
Yes, I do. So I do have products for hair loss, and it's a variety. It's just not just some. My exclusive item I do have, it's a little pricey, but it does work. That's what I do use, but I do have it for everyone that can come in throughout the price range for everybody.
Okay, so I do have a question. So since I have such a hard time with the word, the trichologist, what is that actually?
So yeah.
So I was looking it up, and and hey guys, I am a person who reads a whole lot. I had no idea what it. I read it like 3 times. I said, okay, I'll just ask when I see her. So what is a trichology? What is it, and what does it specialize in?
So we specialize in the hair and the scalp. So we study the disease. We that in between the cosmetologist and the dermatologist. So when the cosmetologist is doing hair, so I was in that stage. So let me tell you a little bit of personal story. So I was in that stage where I just had my daughter in 2016, and I've been doing hair for about 20 years then. Okay. And I had postpartum, and I did not know, as a cosmetologist, I did not know what to do to my hair. And I said, if I don't know what to do to my hair, how can I help somebody else? And so that was the start of me deciding to find out what is hair loss, what it does. And so I transitioned to go into hair loss because I wanted to help people like me that suffer from hair loss. Yeah.
So this actually is a specific for helping people with hair loss and determining like the different types of hair loss. Yeah. So I mean, I've heard of a couple. I mean, I'll say one, alopecia. I hear a lot about that.
So alopecia is just a technical term for hair loss. It's the medical term for hair loss.
I was going to say that.
Yes. So that's the medical term for hair loss, but it is. So everybody suffers from hair loss. It doesn't matter what your skin, what your race is, children, men, women. It doesn't matter. Everyone experiences some type of hair loss, shedding, all of those things, dry scalp. All of those things fall under the scalp and the hair. And so what we do is help clients get their hair back to a healthier state. So if you don't have a healthy scalp, I don't care how much oil you use, I don't care how much, whatever you use, if you don't have a healthy scalp, it's not going to grow back.
Okay. So can you expound a little bit on an unhealthy scalp, and what would be the first steps that if someone was having substantial hair loss, what would you think, what would be the first thing that you would suggest them to do?
So the first thing I would suggest to them to do is I look at the hair. And so the difference between me, a cosmetologist, and a dermatologist, I look at the hair underneath the microscope. So I look at the hair underneath the microscope. So I find out what that follicle is doing. That follicle is important. That follicle determines, just like a plant, the root, it determines if the plant is going to grow. That follicle determines if the hair is going to grow. So if the hair is clogged up, build up, all of those things, like I said, I don't care how much oil, how much you use, it's not going to grow. And also water is also, and diet is also an important part of hair loss, hair growth, and healthy scalp. If you don't have a healthy diet, if you don't drink a lot of water, and it's a special type of water. So all of those things I talk about in my consultation, what type of water you should be drinking, how much water you should be drinking, all of those things I talk about during my consultation when I have clients. Okay, so if they were looking for a consultation, hey guys, I'm gonna ask the hard question for you guys ahead of time. What is the price point of a consultation? So I give a 15-minute consultation, complimentary to each client that books with me. And so I just talk about that. But the The initial consultation goes in depth with, it's 45 minutes at least with the microscope. So I look at the hair underneath the microscope. You looking at it real time with me at the same time. So it's a video. You do video, you take pictures, talk about your diet, talk about what medication you're on, talk about just your history. So that is more extensive consultation.
Okay. And with that, so as I said, what I'm gathering, this is so what I'm gathering is that in this consultation, they have an opportunity to give more of a medical history of what's going on with them. So it gives you an opportunity to make an educated decision, or give them an educated line of, as I tell people, a line of defense for growth.
Yeah.
So they can grow. So if their hair are there cases where the hair will not grow back?
Yes. Yeah. So that is called scarring alopecia. But then there's also times when the hair just dies off. It's just the intelligent stage where it just dies off and it just doesn't grow back. And so that we have alternative solution, which is called non-surgical hair replacements, which is what I do. So the non-surgical hair replacement is an alternative form so that you can get your wigs. If you want fashion wigs, that's fine, but you can also get medical wigs where it's comfortable. If you have hair loss and your scalp is irritable, the base of the hair or the base of the wig is very important to get and to have. And so I do want to add too. So you don't have to put all that glue in your hair. You do not have to put the glue in your wig to keep it on. Guess what? If you come to Sheer Designs too, Sheer Designs Beauty Emporium, you can get your wig grip. Now, it's a silicone wig grip. You get your wig grip, and you don't have to put it on, and it will hold the wig in place. Okay, so come out.
I've learned something new today.
Grip.
What is a wig grip? I gotta. Hey guys, you guys see my hair. I'm not saying, as I said, not saying anything about people who have hair loss. There are medical reasons. Things happen. Life happens. Yeah. I've had long hair ever since I can remember. But one day I had gotten a perm. I'll tell this story. My hair has always was long.
Relaxer. See the other people use perm, so they want their hair curly, right? So we just gonna educate you just a little bit.
I appreciate it.
Want curly hair, so they call that perm. But we was so used to calling it perm, it's really technically called relaxer because we relaxing the curls out.
But in this case, it was the perm. We were using the Carefree because we were trying to get the curl. So I did know the difference because a young lady told me years ago, that's not perm. Okay, gotcha. Relax. So relax is when you're trying to get it straight. So I was trying to get the curl pattern. I was trying to get the curls. Okay. Wash the stuff out. Guess what went in the sink with it?
Your hair.
All my hair was in the sink. So I went from having long hair to really, really short hair for a period of time. I cried like a 2-year-old. Anybody who knows me that you know, I am not crying about nothing hardly. I cried like a 2-year-old for a week. Every time I looked in the mirror, I was so upset about it. And then I had to embrace it. It was nothing I could do about it at the time. I had to let it grow back. But I know there's a lot of people who had those situations of products that they're putting in their hair because they're not aware or they're not educated on what type of product is for their hair. We watch commercials, and those commercials give us a look that we should be societally looking like, as opposed to when we go to those shops and we say we want to look like this, and we pull up the picture on our phone and that's what we want to look like. And then you have the magicians, because beauticians are magicians. I just don't know. I be in there. I think they're magicians because there's a lot of times a person will go in there and they have a laundry list of what they want to look like. And in their mind, they want to look like that picture. It's not just, they're not seeing themselves, they're seeing that person. And that's what they want to look like when they walk away from that chair. So they want their eye. So I think it's magical about beauticians bringing that dream to life. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm always amazed about. That you guys, when I see the beauticians, especially the ones who care, who are taking their time and they're educating the client, you might want to do this because this could do this. I'd love to see that, because that's the education piece, that because the client came in with a picture, they're wanting to do this, but they don't know that to do that, all of the chemicals, all of the things that are going to have to be done to their hair that are going to weaken it in some cases. As I said, my wife, she loves to get her hair done. So I've been there for a lot of these conversations, and I've met some really, really good cosmetologists who really are just caring about the individual and giving that information out. And it seems that's exactly what you're doing with the hair restoration piece of SD Beauty, which is an awesome thing. So I want to make sure that we're going to let her tell you exactly all. We do have a question online. So show is over at 5:00 after you guys get these questions in. But no, okay. So it says, if I have been using, I don't know what that is, minoxidil. Is that an L? Okay, we're going to say the minoxidil for a while and then suddenly stop. Will that cause more hair loss?
Potentially. Nothing is definitive. You know, every person is individual. It depends on what you're eating, what your history is. So it is a case by case, but it does have potential to doesn't work as effective as when you were using it. In addition to that, minoxidil also can do the opposite. It can grow hair in places that you don't want hair. So, so yeah, you just got to be careful on using those products. It was really for men. They do put it in some women, but you do have to be careful. One of the product line that I do use is plant-based. So, you know, it's not just a niche right now or name right now, but plant-based is really natural in a lot of things. And so one of the product line that I do use is plant-based. And then I'm looking for more plant-based product. I do have a Black-owned young lady who does her product and lotion, which is coming out sometime in April. So I do want to share that. I don't know the date exactly, but it's a lotion and it smells so good. I just can say that. It smells so good. So so I'm happy and excited that she's bringing her product line to our beauty supply store. And I am looking for more Black-owned beauty supply products to come into my store. So if you do have a Black line, Black product, I'm looking to reach out and connect with you.
Okay, so please tell everybody where they can find you. Give all your information, all your handles. They will also be in these notes afterwards. It'll, as you guys see, if you guys are listening to it on the radio, please go to my page, Rachel L. Gary on Facebook, and you can see the live. Well, actually, it'll be a recording. If you look in the show notes, it will have the information on there. If you're listening to on YouTube, I will, after the show is over, we'll put in the show notes all the information so you can get in touch with Paula. At the end of the day, we want everyone to find success in their journey, and it is if it's hair loss, on getting help with information that will find you a path of success towards moving forward.
Awesome. So for my book, it's Paula M as in Mary, Carl. My last name is KARLL. .com. That's where my book is. Hold
on, we're gonna make sure we get that book in here. Hold on a second. Hold on. There we go. So let's hold those books up so you guys can see them.
Awesome. So this is the Spanish version. This is my yeah. And then this is my latest edition. Here we can just open it up, which is awesome. So you can find that. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Paula M. Carl, KARLL. Facebook, same Paula M. Carl. So that is for my book. For my beauty supply store is sdbeautyemporium.com is my website. On Instagram is SD Beauty Emporium. I just got a TikTok page, so it's SD_Beauty Emporium. And then my address for the beauty supply store is 432 East 162nd Street in South Holland, Illinois. And right around the corner is my hair salon, which is called Sheer Designs 2 and Hair Restoration. The address is 16126 South Park Avenue, South Holland, Illinois. Thank you. And I look forward for everyone who's listening to come out and just say hi. And
say hi, and make sure that you guys say that you heard of her on Wake Up CEO. And we got to see if we can get a discount for you guys. But hey, it's a new establishment, and we as people always want a discount. But at the end of the day, it's about supporting each other and it's supporting each other's success. And she has a product line that is also Black. We have Black products in here, and your product could possibly be next. So please get that information over to her and make sure it's some quality products. We want quality products that are going to help people in a positive way. So go ahead and make sure you guys share it. So let's get to that last piece of the day. The leadership. 3-point play, powered by Say I'm Possible Academy, where self-leadership gets GPS. Let's go. Play 1. Develop yourself first. Read, rest, reflect, and rise. When you grow, you give your kids permission to grow too. Play 2. Model confidence in your kids. Kids mirror what they see. Speak power into them. Speak strength by being honest about your own journey. And play 3. Be the blueprint for your community. Show up for your block like it's your boardroom. When you move with purpose, others around you begin to believe it's possible for them too. That is the leadership 3-point play. So to everyone out there, I want you guys to make sure you stay up next for At the Top on the Financial Power Hour. And my final thoughts for today: you don't need to become someone else. You need to return to the truth of who you really are. And for everybody out there, you know what I'm going to say at the end of the day. I want you guys to be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You. So we're going to let H302 by Mellow Take the Wheel and Chris and T play out. And until next week, CEOs, remember this is Wake Up CEO on My Radio Chicago, Support District Radio, where we already know it is more than radio. And we thank our special guest, Paula Carl, for joining us today. Make sure that you guys click those links that are going to be in the bios, be on the screens afterwards, and support. And I almost forgot. Paula Carl is also an ambassador of Distinguished Authors Guild, along with myself. Distinguished Author Guild is where we give literary excellence an opportunity to shine. If you have an award-winning book, go to Distinguished Author Guild on Facebook currently and get in the mix. We'll talk to you guys next week on Wake Up CEO.
If it's not for me, I let it go. I'm not stressing no more. Getting in tune with the earth, getting in tune with my soul. I will be okay. I'll still find a way. 'Cause I have what it takes, and I could never break. Yeah, can I break me? The heartache, it only made me mastering myself, staying top and yeah on the daily. Going through the phases, healing through the changes. I've been transforming into the greatest version of myself. Version of myself. Becoming the greatest version of myself. Version of myself, become the best version of myself, version of myself, version of myself, become the best version of myself. I'm becoming the best me that I can be. I'm giving out love, 'cause what you give out, you receive. Had to change my own beliefs, even when I couldn't see. Still believed in myself, even when I couldn't breathe. Yeah, I felt and I prevailed. Inhale and exhale all of my problems, so I can be still. I know within time I'll be fine, but for now I'ma focus on my grind. Go and get mine. All the bullshit, I'ma leave it all behind me. 'Cause I'm becoming the best version of me. Version of myself. Version of myself. I'm becoming the best version of myself. Version of myself. Version of myself. Becoming the best version of myself. Version of myself. Version of myself. Becoming the best version of myself. Version of myself. Version of myself. Becoming the best version of myself. Version of myself. Version of myself. becoming the best version of myself. Version of myself. Version of myself. I've been transforming and great.
Okay, I'm hydrated enough. Like I love myself so much. Healthy and pay grade A plus. Like wealth comes in waves, I'm way up. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? It's up. H3O2 in my cup. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup.
Pour up, but this is that drink that'll get you the max in hydration. I seek it, I speak it, I add affirmations. I just did a digital dash, I'm not chasing. I love when it's chasing me. I don't resonate with the lack, I'm not faking. I move with a purpose and passion. I'm patient, I'm grooving and smirking with grabbing a grape, and I love how it tastes of me. I'm abundancy, I'm an anomaly. I'm so funny to me, should do comedy. And you can be what you want to be. Get in harmony and with your stomach. You can come with me if you can run with me. Add them to one and the sum with the numbers. Be damn, I'm just getting them hundreds abundantly. Stand in the sun, it's my form of a sunny D. Sunny D.
It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup.
I keep a drinking banana with me. I keep a drinking banana with me. Keep a drinking banana with me. I keep on thinking I'm hammering this. Can't touch 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 this. Yeah. I keep a drinking banana with me. I keep a drinking banana with me. I keep a drinking banana with me. I keep on thinking I'm hammering this. Can't touch 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 this. Yeah.
Okay, I'm hydrated enough. Like I love myself so much. Healthy and pay grade A plus. Wealth comes in waves, I'm way up. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? It's up. H3O2 in my cup. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? Look. It's up. H3O2 in my cup. What? It's up. H3O2 in my cup. Okay, I'm hydrated enough. Okay, I'm hydrated enough. Okay, I'm hydrated enough. What? Look, it's up. H3O2 in my cup.
I am worthy, same. I am worthy, same. I am worthy. Yes, I am.
Early morning, time to rise, no sleep. Radio's humming with the funky beat. Sun is shining, Rachel brings the heat. Wake up, CEO, we're on repeat. Chicago, Sun Up City on the go. Rachel L. Gary on the radio. Tune in quick, feel the power flow. Wake up, CEO, it's your daily show. Wake up, start the day with you. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. From the Windy City, bringing major vibes. Rachel on the mic, keeping lives revived. Radio Chicago, where dreams arise. Wake up, CEO, to the skies. No more snooze button, no more delay. Rachel's voice making waves today. Feel the energy Chicago way. Wake up, CEO, rise and sway. Wake up, start the day with zeal. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. Wake up, start the day with zeal. Hey, with Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill.
This is Nina Powell of Nina Waters Ministries. And when you're looking for inspiration, check out Wake Up CEO with Rachel L. Gary. Wednesdays from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
You know what time it is? Every Wednesday, 3 to 5, my Radio Chicago, Rachel L. Gary in the building. Wake up, CEO, let's go! Wake up, go some set that tone. Wake up, every step you take, you claim that throne. Wake up, no more doubt, no time to stall. Wake up, boss up now, go get it all. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in. Wake up. I ain't waiting, now I go and take it. Built this from the ground, no way they break it. Consistency, my secret, watch me make it. Got that boss talk, now I ain't faking no. Look, set the goal, now I'm grabbing the goal. And put in the work, now I'm taking control. The vision so clear, yeah, I already know. Every step I take, I'm ready to blow. Wake up, set that tone. Every step you take, you claim that throne. No more doubt, no time to stall. You boss up now, go get it all. Let's go, stay locked in, make it happen. Make it happen. Let's go, stay locked in, make it happen. Make it happen. No handouts, yeah, I made my way. Built my brand, now I pay my lane. I turn my losses into lessons. Now my grind got no recession. Yeah, they talk about chance, but I make my own. Yeah, I ain't waiting for fate, got a future to own. Yeah, every setback, just part of the game, game. But now I'm up and they know my name. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, wake up. Success so sexy, put the work in, flexy. Late nights, no rest, but now my vision's hefty. They doubted, they laughed, now they watch from the back. Cause I turned every dream into bricks that stack. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, go get it all. Every Wednesday, 3 to 5, my radio Chicago. Rachel L. Gary taking you to the top. Boss up, boss you, boss up now. Go get it all. Yeah. Every Wednesday, 3 to 5, my radio Chicago. Rachel L. Gary taking you to the top. Boss up. Every Wednesday, 3 to 5, by Radio Chicago. Rachel L. Gary taking you to the top.